Hello everyone, welcome back to another one of my little card tutorials. It's World Breastfeeding Week and I thought I would sneak in just in the nick of time with this cute baby card. Now, a lot of you know that I am a huge fan of Lawn Fawn and it's really hard for me to pull myself away from that brand. It's not that I try to only buy Lawn Fawn, it's just that not a lot really appeals to me. But this set of baby stamps totally won me over. It's by Waffle Flower. They are just so cute. So I'm going to pull them out of the packet and show you. This is the first time I've used them. They are just so cute. Their little faces. Oh my gosh. So for this card, I'm using the baby stamps, and this might surprise you, but I actually bought the matching dies. Usually I just fussy cut everything, but these designs on these stamps were incredibly intricate, and I'll show you what I mean when I get out these dies. They are just a little bit too tricky even for me to be cutting out. What I love about this die set is that they're already cut. I don't have to cut all these little pieces apart, and it actually comes with its own piece of magnetic sheet. I haven't had a die set come with that before, so that was a little bit exciting. And then, of course, I have some Lawn Fawn in this card because I can't help it. I have my stitched rainbows. So moving on to how I made it. I mostly use scrap for my rainbow, just all those offcuts of paper. And for my little clouds, I use some of the pixie dust, I think it's called. The pixie dust cardstock by Lawn Fawn. I used my cute cloud stencil by Lawn Fawn as well. This card is just full of Lawn Fawn stuff. I really don't move too far away from it. And here I'm mostly just using the excess brown on my brown ink blending brush. I think most of the colour from this brush is probably going to be tea dye and a little bit, I think it's walnut stain is the other colour as well. And then I left enough of a gap so that I could fit in a cloud between all of them. And this time I'm using spun sugar. Once I was done putting my clouds on, I then went back with my brushes and just spread that ink out a little bit more so that there wasn't such a big plain white gap between my clouds. I gave it a quick spray with some water for a bit of added texture, and then I decided it still needed a bit more, so using the two colours that I had used before, the tea dye and the spun sugar, I mixed them with a little bit of my distress oxides. I think this was the walnut stain and the pink raspberry, just because I find the colours are too light once they start to oxidize. So I mixed them with these colours to kind of get a bit of an in-between colour, and this was perfect for my background. And because it wouldn't be one of my cards if it wasn't sparkly, I added some of the white gold from my watercolor pigment set. Moving on to stamping, I thought this little bubby in its little rainbow swaddle was the cutest. So I decided to use this one, and I thought it would actually make a really good rainbow baby card as well. What I noticed when pulling these apart was that my little bub was stuck to another one, and then that baby was stuck to another baby, so I'm not sure if they're meant to be like that or not. But I did snip it, so I made sure I grabbed some sharp scissors, gave it a nice clean line so that I could separate these tiny ones. I noticed that this stamp actually stamped really nice and clear, but with most of my stamping, I just stamp everything twice so that my lines are perfect and bold. I find that especially handy when dealing with stamps like this, where the little details, like the rainbows, are so small. Moving on to colouring. I wanted this card to have a very simple colour scheme, so here I am just using what was in the packet for my skin tone set of Copic markers. I started with the rainbow first and going from darkest to lightest, well, darkest brown for a few shades, and then I used the pink at the end to tie the pink in the rainbow with the background. I started colouring all of these little stitched pieces. I don't usually like colouring in big things like this with my Copics because I feel like they get a bit splotchy and they want to be blended, but these worked really well. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I did, however, have to make sure that I coloured in the sides or the very edges of the paper just a little bit as well because they were showing white when I wanted them to be coloured. I guess I could have used just different shades of brown and pink cardstock for this part, but I really liked the gradient that these colours offer being part of a set that's meant to be only just a few shades apart from one another. I feel like I really like this effect more than if I had dug through my stash and tried to find different shades of brown and pink. Moving on to this sweet little baby, I used markers from the same set. So here I am just colouring her in and adding all those little white details to her. There we go, she's done. Look how cute she is. Those cheeks. Just adorable. She kind of reminds me of my own baby girl who was born with the best chubby cheeks. And I don't usually get to say this, but I grabbed my matching die and then off she went to be cut out. Ta-da! What a cutie pie. I am obsessed. That is just so cute. I can see myself using this set for probably a million different things. Grandparent cards, new baby cards, rainbow baby cards, birthday cards. I have like a whole list already. Anyway, back to work. I chopped my rainbow in half, almost perfectly, I might add. They lined up very well, and I stuck them down in their little clouds. For them, I used my tape runner, but for the clouds, I used some foam tape for dimension. Using my middle-sized banner from my Lawn Fawn die set, I cut some white cardstock and I coloured that in with one of my Copics to match the rest of the colours. The front of this card was very cute, but I felt it still needed a sentiment. So I grabbed my little bundle stamp set by Lawn Fawn and I used the welcome and little one. I stamped them out with some embossing ink and used some white embossing powder, but not before loading it up with some powder from my anti-static tool. I think this is one of the cleanest embossing jobs I have ever done. It's taken me years, but I am finally getting the hang of this. Once my powder was on, it was time to emboss. I don't emboss on camera because I don't have the space at my dining table where I do all my craft. I take it over to my kitchen. Once I was back, I trimmed that in half and used my Copic marker just to go over the edge where the white cardstock was showing. I used my tape runner to glue these down, and then I added some little birdies from that baby stamp set that I stamped off camera. I just felt like they needed just some little extra details, and then this was pretty much done. I used some foam tape on the back of the baby so that she could sit propped up with plenty of dimension and be the focus in the middle of this card. I added just a few sequins around the place, just to fill in the gaps. It was then time to adhere the whole card front onto my card base. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you liked it enough, make sure you subscribe and hang around for some more tutorials. I had so much fun making this card. I love those rainbows. I love the baby. I can't wait to use all of these items again. I'll leave you with some photos. Thank you so much for watching.